The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro, or Clouded Heart.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Okay, two quick things. One, really, I'm sorry to hear that your game crashed. Maybe is it possible to update it or give the game a bit of a break before playing again? I'm not too sure. Also, second thing, if the audio from the game is too loud, please let me know because I tried adjusting it. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo? No, not at all. Download. Oh, dang. I didn't even know Left 4 Dead had mods. Sorry, I itch. Okay, sorry. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms are so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day. It was brighter than day, and even in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Bordia, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. King-size beds! Spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owed £3 for the room, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. £3. Okay, I'm imagining this is way before inflation. Or... excuse me. My throat, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking. In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. Oh! I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. Honestly, I'd cry too, or die, depending on how high that bill was. I really am sorry. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. London is a scary place. Is it the LCJ? It is! I don't know why my throat's being so weird. Oh, yes, well... Good morning to you, Lord I'll just keep saying LCJ, because Lord Chief Justice feels kind of like a mouthful. LCJ. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Sato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart. Yes, I believe you have a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices. Yes, it was very eye-opening, thank you. I learned to eat the rich! And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end. Yes, I've already been apprised of events. conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. I almost said consider the past test. No longer are you a student of the Empire of Japan. Birds! You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. Thank you very much. So I'm a lawyer now. Can we talk about how the dude I defended yesterday was kind of a dick? Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. Again? I'm so sorry. I don't know what's in my throat today. Alright, quick water break. Keep winding up your watch, buddy. Another case? Already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure. I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. Were you even there? If you were there, you'd... like, is this one of those means to an end thing? The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to prefer a judgment. Oh god, Irish. Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Evil laughed. I don't feel like doing it. What? I'll try a little Wario. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo. It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended. Aren't you a little curious about that too? You were there with me. Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer. Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? Magnus McGill. What? Was he the... Okay, the last case ended on an animation of the omnibus carriage thing on fire and someone was trapped inside. Was that him? Magnus McGill had passed away immediately following the trial. No. What? Mr. McGilded is dead? Birds! I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk. Eh. 99. Wow. Wait, have I feel like I've read these already, but maybe there's some new dialogue. Stuff armor. Then maybe they were like the lion dogs. Okay, we've done. Yeah, this has happened before. What the crap happened? I don't understand. What happened? How could he be dead? After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus has been wheeled into the courtroom. And then it was set ablaze. Yes, of course, that was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. No! How could such a thing have happened? That is being investigated as we speak, but already... The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGilded. That's awful. The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. Fire most like. I imagine either he went inside, or like maybe he went inside, someone locked him in there, or someone like chucked him in there and locked the door. Yeah, bailiff really needs to pay more attention. How could that have happened? Sorry, my throat. I had some, like, I kind of had, like, a hot dinner earlier, so maybe that's it. It is also being investigated as we speak. Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back to the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Yeah, he was basically going all, they'll let me in, besides, I'm paying them. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. An inspection of the omnibus. Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard has any intention of re-examining the carriage. But then who was Mr. McGilded talking about? Never mind that now. Eat my cane! The yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police. He was my client, of course it's my concern. Poor Mr. McGilded. Please don't spank me. So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... Wow. Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. My nose itches. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. She's good with words. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right one. You can read my mind! Birds. The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can! The most advanced in the world, is it? Give it time! Or look elsewhere. It was fortunate. But your very first trial was a simple affair. No, I wouldn't call it simple. Thank you. Thank you for voicing my thoughts. Simple? That was simple? As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose. Whoa. I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. Were you saying it's a case we couldn't lose because our client was rich? The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to realize how we managed to get a favorable verdict. Even though the circumstances leading to that are kind of... Why are you snickering? Something funny? No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree? I don't know about that. Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much at least is an undeniable truth. Ah, my nose. Which is precisely why I have prepared the new case for you that I have mentioned earlier. What's going on? What was he going to say before? New case? Wait, do I have anything in my... Never mind. Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me it's a murder, and the trial starts in 10 minutes. Nope, it's a genocide, and the trial starts in 5 seconds. Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. It's a murder! Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? That is to say, no one has died. Yet? And the trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes. And 19 seconds to be precise. Why is my nose... Eh. So the trial's tomorrow then. Is everything alright? Yes, I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was... Well, it left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. I say you are, it's just the client that was sort of shoved into your hands was a bad, like, not good deal. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial. Ah yes, I nearly forgot. There was one similarity with yesterday's case. Oh, goody. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. Why does this keep happening? If that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome. The most terrible end awaits the defendant, the death penalty. Yes, that's right. Here we go again. Uh-oh, I don't want some more. Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial and for fighting Amon. After all, the clock is ever ticking. Just like the big clock behind you. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time he mentioned the 23 hours, he said there were plenty of time. And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There was something I should like to ask you. What's that? Yesterday, you remarked upon something... that you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Oh god, I hear the time! Oh, well, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked so he could change ours in Japan. Is he actually timing it? Because I don't know how to read this super fast. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Ah! Another thing? Continue. On the way here on the steamship, he said something to me. There's something very important I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he'd ever made it. Damn it! Out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion. You could have given me an extension or something? Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Why? Blame him for not giving me enough time. Mr. Asoki never once mentioned anything of the sort to me. I urge you both to focus your attention on the matter at hand. Hello? I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details. How long has he been there? I didn't even notice him. So I wish you the best of luck, and bid you farewell. Bye. You will hear the rest of my explanation at some point. something very important I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. Hello! I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Oh, please don't be racist! Are those French fries / chips? It is chips! Could we trouble you? Wait. Oh, that's how he keeps getting more fries. Or chips. What do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? I don't know what I'm trying to... I don't know what kind of accent I'm going for. Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know? Mr. Sato-san told me it was foolproof. Some people don't like small talk. Can I call you Chip? I'm a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to. I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying? I haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the big wigs these days. And all because some bumpkin who his ears on a John from a country I never even heard of. Go to school. Broke my reputation at the yard going to tatters. There's no need to rip us apart as well. Wait. Okay, I'm seeing fries / chips, and is that a whole baked potato? I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryonosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant, It's a sausage! It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? I imagine he's taking to her a lot better than me because girl. It's unseasonably fine, I grant you. London weather don't see a lot of sunshine. Because unbelievable how she pulled it off. You know, okay, I feel like she was able to pull it off because straight men. So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. Name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. I can't do the voice or accent. Gregson. Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Sato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? I know. Hold on, I'm kind of curious. Okay, remember this is 16, 52, 44. Stern and single-minded approach and a great lover of fish and chips. Maybe it's a fish in there. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Rants magazine? Fish and chip shop sells sauce. Maybe need to add some variety? Yeah. That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Sholmes and... Is that like Holmes and Watson? Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. Well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes is a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yard. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise. Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? I mean, fame, if it was known, there's a difference between fame and infamy. I'll have to admit that to the start, I was a little, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand. And my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it ain't! There's nothing more sinister than a man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Like you eat too many fish and chips? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he had started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that. Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, they whisper. I can't exactly catch what they're saying, but I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear. Perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people. Yeah, like, this is how you'd probably feel. Another example of this would be the internet. So, about the case that LCJ mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. Is that a business card in his hat? Like, right there? As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler. Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she still laid up in hospital, unconscious. That's despicable! What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? The TF2 spy, maybe? If he got a hit? Like, if he was hired to take out a lady? Not in the romantic way. I suppose he would have finished whoever it was with a two-sided takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. Praise yourself, Yonosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after some of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit. Also, where you get that, the never-ending fish and chips, because I want some. Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question? Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is... Of course it is. Prosecutor Dracula. No! Sounds like you've heard of him then. Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. The Reaper of the Bailey. The guy with the wine and the boots. Lord Barak von Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGilda told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector. Then yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. And what of it? Well, I think... That means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? You don't put it in your pocket! What happened to the bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Magnus McGildy came a cropper in the omnibus when it came up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What? Are you saying we're... Are you saying I'm complicit in his death? Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works magic. Black magic. You could say a legend of black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that? How? Right, well, I filled you in as you requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. It's a never-ending batch of chips! So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place? That's correct, ma'am. If you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You've branded him a criminal already? Guilty until proven innocent. He's as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. He'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. My nose itches. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. But if the man they've arrested is innocent... Sorry. You could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I for one wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm gonna make some inquiries. Will you help? No! Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes! Let's go! Okay, so... Should I go to the scene of the crime first, or the guy first? I'll go to Briar Road since it's the first one. Strand Street. Daily News, William Robbins. Snowman! So this is where it happened. Briar Road. Ha! Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That's their job, isn't it? But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamed I'd ever come this close. To a real Bobby's helmet! The helmet? Do you want to wear one? Of course. I have to try one day. You do? Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true. I don't see any Inspector Gregson anywhere. Shall we see if we can sneak past and investigate the scene of the stabbing? Why should we sneak? One, because they might not let us in if we tell them we're lawyers. Two, quick, roll for sneaking. I don't want to upset one of those bobbies and be butted on the head by one of those metal helmets. They don't headbutt you with those, do they? Let's go with Kraken too, I'm sure. Oh no, an English bobby would never do such a thing. This is a land of gentlemen, you know? Okay, let's take a look around. Suplex! That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. And adds some rustic charm. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally within reasonably level floors. Strand Street. Oh no, the bike! A British bicycle, look! Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. I kind of wish they caught on in America, especially with these days. Like, dude, there's a lot of car stuff going on here. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. Do they ever get to that? Like, I think there were points where I tried, like, biking with a skirt, like short skirts and long skirts, and none of it ended well. The bicycle fad won't last. Give it, Ryunosuke, you need to go into the future. In fact, there's official artwork of your descendant, Phoenix Wright, biking his way to work. With egg and toast in his mouth. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off the ground seems reckless. Well, it takes practice. Horses are preferable to bikes. Yeah. I remember I don't think I've ever been, like, in a horse-drawn carriage or wagon, but, like, I imagine just, like, being able to, like, actually pet an animal versus just using a bike is preferable. If you ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you'd agree with me. Ryunosuke, have you tried that? We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. Hire? You can sit behind me while I ride you around. Is hire a new word for buy? Oh, look at the windows of that build. They're bricked up! I didn't even notice. Are you sure they're windows? Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks. Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where no one lives at the moment. Or, I don't know, maybe it could be condemned? Because I know there was a house in, like, there was, around where my parents live, there was a house that was condemned, and, like, I think, if memory serves right, the windows were boarded up. Not with bricks, but cardboard. There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though. Oh dear. Everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place. I imagine maybe this building was condemned, but maybe the homeless have to live in there. Window tax Really? Window tax. Sorry, hold on one second. Oh, sorry. Like if you went to London, someplace would have no window. They'd be all bricked up? Clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy. Now I'm curious if if other places has the window tax, or if at any point America had it. Well, it is known as Foggy London Town. I could just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though. Aw, that's cute! Aha, yes! That must be the Crystal Tower, being built for the great exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time. Apparently it's going to be very striking, glazed on all sides like a donut, and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition. It's to be the largest exposition in history, is it? I can't even begin to imagine it. For sure, only in London. Dang, I need to look into that. Also, how much was the window tax? Like, was it a fortune or half fortune? Do you see all that black smoke rising from the chimneys over there? It says here that in Great Britain, many people heat their homes in winter using coal. The only chimneys I really remember seeing in Japan were on top of the bathhouse. Do you think some of those houses could be on fire? In Japan, or these? Not at all. Well, even so, that much thick smoke billowing up to the heavens is surely going to turn the whole sky black sooner or later. Gosh, you may be right about that. Oh. There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. And horse poop! It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disperses all the snow. I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. It seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo, and dressed all in black. What does that have to do? I worry coachman might not see you and you could be flattened by horses. The roads aren't that black. Well, thank you for the rather small concern. Anything here I need to look at? Snowman! Hee what a delightful snowman! I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though. I thought all snowmen were just the whole like 3 balls and then you just make the carrot nose and whatnot. 2 shilling per window? Or these days, wow. What was the window tax even pay for, and why was it necessary at the time? Was it for letting out heat, or, I don't know, temperature things? Oh, it has a scarf, look! You need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. How are you doing that? Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. How is she reading my mind? Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush the crime scene and cart away criminals. Literally to counter. Huh. Interesting counter. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of those windows. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way. Help me find a good stone! No. Oh, no. I wasn't serious. I imagine you can't just walk up to the guy and say, "Hey, I'm a foreigner. Can I ride in the carriage?" This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding. And the snowman! Oi! What are you foreigners doing here? Because people didn't like income tax, so they taxed when... Huh. I don't know, part of me is sort of like, that's an interesting, like, counter to it, and also, like, would that work, and also, would that work in the US? Because as far as I know, like, okay, I remember, like, some workplaces or classrooms I was in the past, there weren't any windows, but there should be a handful of windows enough here. Well, we just investigating. Conspiring with that mustached fellow from Japan, are you? What? Conspiring? Come here to destroy evidence, have you? What? Get out of here before I give you an hidden. And I didn't. Go on. I don't have a mustache, though. He shooed us away like rats. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. Is no one gonna address the whole, mustachioed guy from Japan? It might be slang for, old-timey slang for something. At least that's my best guess. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. Sigh. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. What about the guy who just yelled at us? Oh, no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough! Twice I found myself in handcuffs, despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all. Is there anything else? I guess that's all we can do for now. Prison! Sorry. Local prison, cell 9, inmate 53. So these are the British prison cells. Oh, they're gaslit. It feels just like a dungeon. It is a dungeon! At least, I think so. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these stone-cold walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. February 19th? Oh, God! I didn't even pay attention to the dates! You're in the future! Or, in this case, apparently our client is in this cell here. but it's so dark at the back, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Inmate 53! Your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding at the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I a cat? As yet with no name? Call me by a number! It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustably unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here? I have no idea. Sorry, my... I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese! Is that Jonathan Joestar's father? Also, are his eyes okay? Shh, quiet! He looks a lot like Jonathan Joestar's father from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What was the first one called again? Sorry, my nose. Oh, I can't remember what the first one was called. Okay, second part was Battle Phantom Blood. Okay, that was it. Thank you. They're all around, hiding. I know they are. God crap, hold on a sec. Why is my nose so itchy? They're watching, listening, even now I can sense it. Are you sensing vampires? Sorry, recalibrating the avatar thing. Because for some reason my nose won't participate. What kind of drawings are in his eyes? Right. So... There you are, come to curse we have you. Don't try to hide it, you're a ghost. Woo! A ghost? We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you... Japanese by any chance? Oh, there his eyes are. Was he on a drug earlier? This is beyond my wildest dreams. Oh, there his eyes are. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. It's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! I have spent 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land! So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a... What? Most funny... Are you a cheerleader? Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese person? My compassion my fellow countrymen show. To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Student? What kind of words are you forming? Definitely Pappy Joestar. Noble nurturing, never failing. If it's a Japanese guy saying it, is it okay? Nippon? A first-class lawyer? Oh geez, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind to tell us what happened? And give us your name? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example. Yes, I can! I will! Should stay silent! I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yeah, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, I am a lawyer, as he said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I am Papi Joestar! I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I'm a visiting student, sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume! Soseki Natsume. Is there a pun in there? So... 33! I also thought he was older than that. He is a defendant, scholar sent to Britain by the Japanese government to further his study of English. Okay, I can't examine the cell, so... Classic Phoenix Wright. Look at my armband. Yes! This is one of our greatest empires, first-rate lawyers. Which means, of course, you'll stand by my side, you'll defend me! No, sorry. That wasn't why I was showing it to you. Then why else would you show me that? Oops. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea. Soseki Natsume-san? What an unusual name. I'm trying to figure out if there's a pun in there, like, Soseki Natsume? Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, a writer of haiku. He is Shakespeare! It's something of a nom de plume. Nom? Oh, it's a pen name. You mean an alias? That's right, Naruhodo-san. No! Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku? That really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government? Yes, that's right. A year ago I was told to go study English. First I had to suffer that misery, and now this is beyond the pale! Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it? No! What do you mean? If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Oh, boy, I'm so sorry. The English language is a nightmare. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. He's a master of alliteration. I see. Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on whitewashy! You must be a man of great standing. Literally and figuratively. Seriously, look at the way you're standing! Oh yes, so I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Either. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested? I didn't do it! I didn't commit that atrocious murder! Try and get a closer look into his eyes, because it looks like very focused squiggles and then it just slowly spreads out. Almost like some sort of Junji Ito Uzumaki thing going on. Murder? Oh, no, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes! Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. What?
If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here?
Oh dear. It seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Again? Why? Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse! The curse of London! Curse of London? It's incredibly and inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient.
So Soseki was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case.
My first thought was maybe the lights weren't working, but like, I know it was an outdoor crime, but maybe the lamp was put out? Also, what's this whole Curse of London thing? It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Is everything cursed? Surely the bookshop wasn't accursed too. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another accursed person ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat, she was. And just as I went to overtake her, as in walk ahead of her, she suddenly let out a little scream, meep, and collapsed onto the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. Oh. How terrible. I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs were carrying me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. I'm guessing you haven't mastered Hamon yet. They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? I mean, you've been here a while. You've probably made some friends. I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. Me neither. I see.
A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anyone pass you?
Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, goody.
So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time.
Wait, that's her.
That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
What conundrum? Why is my nose? Sorry, hold on again. Ah!
What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen.
I did! So I guess, I'm wondering if those eyes are like him being, I guess, a bit more, calm. And then when he gets frazzled, the eyes start going that.
But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit.
You! What did you just say? I didn't say anything! Nothing! I didn't say anything! Perhaps I thought that a little loudly. Is everyone here telepathic?
Actually, that's not what's troubling me. What I was thinking was, How did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested?
Oh no, was it because of racism?
Sorry? He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Yeah, she's right.
Maybe there was a victim in the houses? It was him! That accursed great detective. Sherlock Holmes? He led the police to me! Of all the bad luck! Accursed great detective? Could it be? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live! With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed, busybody, begone! May you be cursed until the end of your days. Sherlock Holmes! I freaking called it! I knew it!
Mr. Sholmes?
Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after the nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese. Hard cheese? When some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police. There's no police. Put the weapon down. Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard. But I wasn't eating a weapon. Death by cheese. Disgusting. Dietary. Discrimination. Devils. Discrimination. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. Meow. That Sherlock Holmes. It's actually just Sherlock Holmes. He's English. I've since found out he's a famous name in detection here in London.
Yes, the great detective is really very well known.
And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman! Me! This weak, stooped kitten of a man! I wouldn't say kitten. I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
The thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Honestly, I would be too. But what kind of panic?
Of course you were. That's only natural.
I was terrified and trembling. They kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish, horrid flimflammery. Flimflammery. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point, good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. Oh, no. Next thing I know, I was in manacles. Before I knew I was thrown in here.
Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine. He's not fine now. If anything, he's that meme of the dog in the sitting amongst the fire, like everything is fine. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You could just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple Mister is more than enough. Oh yes, all right, yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour. A student? I have defended a case in the Old Bailey, only the one though. But I might have beginner's luck and the Naruhodo luck. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. It feels like one of those, like, there was a case in, what was it called? Dual Destinies, where it's like, the ends justify the means! And I'm wondering if that's what's going on here. Sorry, just, Oh, Naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. With an armband! That's the mark of a defense lawyer for my great empire! I've got some bad news for you, buddy. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. Keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me. You? Sorry, my... Ah. Oh, who do you mean? The lawyers. Oh. Is my... Okay. All the British defense lawyers, they won't defend... I'm guessing either because racism or because Barak von Zeeks. Goodness, what? Why do you say that? For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around. And I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. Racism! I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot without any compunction at all.
Any trial for this man would be a waste of time,
They said, and
of course the foreigner did it.
they even had the gall to say,
The man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway.
ugh. That's awful. They're wrong! I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. Oh, have a good night, Virgil. Thank you for tuning in. Also, oh my god, the racism. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to somebody who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. Soseki-san, it's just that... Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can, for the time being. What do you mean? We shall investigate this case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it'll give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should get going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for. Do I have anything else? No, okay. Okay, maybe something new happened at here. Yes. Why? Ow, ow. Hey! What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Inspector Gregson. This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Yes, of course. We're here to investigate. So you've been to the olden cells, then? What do you make of the criminal? He's not a criminal as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together. Well, do what you will. Doesn't bother me. bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happened. And the verdict's a foregone conclusion. Stone cold air of rejection.
Take heart. Lunch at this time of year is full of stone cold air. How is...
That makes it worse somehow. Oh god, sorry. Scotland Yard about the case, tomorrow's trial.
Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place.
The Yard is the most sophisticated police and organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am. Have you been anywhere else in the world?
Oh, and you'll know I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
It does make him look the part, seeing that policeman there with the helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city.
Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful?
Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Bash heads in! Goes around and rouses all the laborers on his beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yup. Raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself, going back a bit. So just knock on the windows like, get up, fuckers! I had no idea. The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that... He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. 20 miles? I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. Let me see. Wait, wasn't miles like only an American measurement?
20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my.
And I suppose in between all those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate crimes as well.
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
How much sleep do these guys even get? I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit.
I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But with a heavy heart, that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Why me? Your heavy heart will be my heavy if you do. It happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago. Just there on the open bit of pavement. Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? Wait, what? You mentioned she's being treated in the hospital. Why are we... It was like, oh, it's a murder case, but no one's really dead yet. It's like... What? My brain. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her. Who puts food in their pocket? Like, not even wrapped, like, just, like, unwrapped food at that. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want. Really? Really? Are you sure? It's the odd policy to give lawyers, defendant, suspects the odd bit of information to go on. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. Ow, my eye.
Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept.
Anyway. Calabash, Meerschaum? Either. Sorry. As far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can't be sure that nobody else was present. I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure. I feel like I'm just flip-flopping his accent. Because this is... I mentioned I'm not good at accents, and I'm just proving my case even more. Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. I freaking know, there's a witness! What? We have two very reliable... Oh, two! I thought it was just one. We have two very reliable witnesses, no less. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see him. There were witnesses now? Who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. He's a copper from Scow. If this is one of those, like a cop committed the murder and they're having the other cops cover for him, then I swear to God. A policeman? That might change things. Yeah. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked? Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching them banging the act and all that. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. Thanks. I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. Him and his wife. So that'll give you something to look forward to. Answer that, then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. Unless he turns out to be like Detective Gumshoe and leaks information. A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yeah, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Why are you bringing him up for? Plenty reason? Like, ow. Was something I said? The color drained from his cheeks. We'll get to that later. That bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you gonna defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me, but I will say just this. No London lawyer with their salts would touch that case with a barge pole. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, right? There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It's all a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now. Wonder what brought him out of retirement. Yeah, I did hear something to that effect. And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals. The violent ones. Master criminals? The violent ones? Oh, that can't be good. That's right. He handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. Racism? Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's gotta be more to it. For some reason he's taking an interest. Really? What sort of reason, Inspector? I think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. Are you really gonna have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it. Moving on from Dracula to... Who did you hear that name from? Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. Ah, my nose. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions. AKA the crappy ones we had to keep correcting on the ship. Fiddle faddle. Is it fiddle faddle or fiddle faddle? The man's an amateur. I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Oh. I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime. Wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish. And before you know it... He claims to have solved the case! Yeah, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though. Isn't he? I don't think he is. Gibble gobble! Eee! Ever seen this before? Oh, yeah, that's Rant's Magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appear. Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as he put it, sees fit to put several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone in the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale at all. Well, I suppose there is an element of that. We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be informed by that public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals. That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Susato, we both saw Sherlock fuck up multiple times on the SS Bordia. Clearly the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. No? Sorry. Well, I don't think we're gonna get any more useful information out of the detective. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Yeah, what is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. Sherlock Holmes or someone else? By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, exactly. Look at those shining eyes. Can't wait, can you? She's fangirling! Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he? Yes, he did! He really did! Sorry. Which makes him an involved party in this case. Are you going to just ignore that? I hope not. I wasn't, like... I want to see him because he fucked up Royal with his deductions, while you want to see it because... Mario! Senpai! I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire. I called it. The trouble is, you have no idea of the man's address even. So how? It's Baker Street! Why are you poised to attack me? Was Baker Street where the original Sherlock Holmes was? How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. That 221B Baker Street, that most famous. That feels like a big. Herlock, there's a reason why P.O. boxes exist. And you need a P.O. box! And a fake address. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We gotta try to find our way there before Susato gets any more excited and unpredictable. I'm gonna sumo throw everyone! Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage! So we're to have a reunion already. With the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Look at my badge! Inspector Gregson, can I show you this? I'm not supposed to know what that is. Never seen that insignia before. It's worn by defense lawyers in the Empire of Japan, as a symbol of their profession. In other words, it's a... Oh, come on! Oh no, it's very important to me. It shows my spirit. An English gentleman keeps things like a spirit very much to himself, you know. You're looking right at it! Oh. Don't give up, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too late. He's crushed my spirit already. Anything else? Or... Nope. Did everything. Yay! Can we really visit? Do you think? Oh, picture, I must be dreaming! Visiting a cold, dark jail brings home the reality of crime and punishment. The police are investigating even in this biting cold. I always feel on edge here, but there are so many interesting books I wish I could borrow. Let's go! Oh!
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day. Thanks again. This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
I just imagine we look at the house and then kaboom. Oh no, kaboom! I see a lot of playing cards, lots of books and some tea, and an elf shoe? Like right there. Also, who threw a knife here? Or maybe not threw it, but just stabbed it. So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Ooh, a violin! Oh wait, I was like, if memories, I don't know much about Sherlock Holmes, but he played violin as well, right? Is it as described in the stories, Mr. Sato? Susato-san! Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. She's living her dream. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I've never read the stories, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. Also, knowing how much he screwed up, like, are we sure he actually solved cases here? The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism. Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I suppose I can, yes. So if you don't mind, I want to live here. I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Sorry, I'm trying to think. It's like, I thought maybe she was like, I want to sit in the chair, I want to play the violin, I want to look at those little doodads on the desk. Please, don't mind me. She's obsessed. She's a fangirl. Just let her do her thing. Well, looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. The door was just unlocked. Excuse me, is anyone home? Oh, do we have a visitor? It's the toddler! It's the steampunk toddler!
Hello? Is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes?
Hello? Wait. Aren't you?
Oh, how rude of me. I'll go make some tea at once.
I'm sure it's the same girl. What the god? Mr. Sato, did you see the girl who was just here?
Oh, yes.
Isn't it truly extraordinary? Are you listening to me?
To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case.
The King of Bavaria? Susato, there was a toddler here! King Wilhelm Gottreich Sigismund von Ormstein, of course. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Wait. Wrong thing? King Wugso. Forget the adventure of Herlock Sholmes for a moment, and look over there! Someone brought their 5-year-old into the game! Why is there a 5-year-old?
The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well.
It's you! I knew it. Susato-san recognizes her too. She's the girl with the gun! Well, the smaller girl with the gun.
Ah, there you are. And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
She has bunnies on her bag. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilded's trial in the defendant's antechamber. She did it! She's a killer! She did it!
I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Or are you having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London?
Oh, yes, it was challenging.
Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know.
It's poison! Thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? It's poison!
Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Hooray! It's a winner! I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see?
Did anyone else hear that? I don't know, like I heard like a beep beep beep.
You must be exhausted after your long voyage here. And you have another ticklish trial tomorrow.
How do you know this?
Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man.
How do you know this?
I do wish you lots of luck.
How do you know this? Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh wait, that was her.
Oh, you know Hurley, do you?
Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, Shirley. By Hurley as in like, that kind of a Hurley?
Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on...
There it is again!
From the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see.
Is she a robot? That's the only explanation I can think of as to why I keep hearing beeps.
Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand today, even though he just returned from overseas.
Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly after that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all those things, do you think?
And perhaps more to the point,
why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? More importantly, who the hell are you? I never got your name.
Oh, silly me. I haven't introduced myself, have I?
You have not. Also, how'd you get your hair to, like, tie up like that?
It's a pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. I live here together with Ellie.
There's the beeping again. Also, is she actually 5? 10. I'm probably still gonna call her 5, because god damn it.
I live here together with Early.
Iris, is it? What a lovely name.
What?
What's the matter?
No, wait, this can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson?
There's the beeping.
What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Yes, that's right. And what are your names?
Oh, I'm Yunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan.
Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's
She said that very quick.
I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely. Susie and Runo.
Like, major props for coming up with nicknames on the dot, but, like... There's the beeping!
Susie?
And Runo? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her. I don't know where to start. For one, are you a robot?
Yes, and so do I.
Can I look around? Play violin.
I've seen pictures of Western musical instruments like this. It's called a violin, isn't it? Of course it is. Mr. Sholmes is renowned for his violin playing. Okay, I'm here like beep 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 and whoop, whoop, which is a similar sound effect to the old Phoenix Wright game. So either Iris is making those sound effects, or it's all part of the song. Like, I can't tell.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. It's often explained in the stories. It's inspirational, Mr. Naruhodo. Inspirational. I immediately started playing the koto, which was the closest Japanese stringed instrument I could find.
What a shame you couldn't bring it with you to London.
Oh, yes, well... Papa was beaming when I asked him if he could buy me one. But after a while, he asked if I would only practice when he was out of the house. So, now it's merely an ornament in my room.
He never leaves? That must have been an awkward conversation. Achievement unlocked, second-rate strings. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole thing is going to topple at any moment.
See, there it is! The beep 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 beep. I keep telling Harley not to cram so much on those shelves.
Good advice.
He wanted me to look something up in one of those books a while ago. But it was so tightly wedged in he couldn't get it out. So he went and bought a new copy instead.
Wow. Is there any... Oh. What on earth is this huge over-the-top machine?
That's a great analytoscope. It can analyze anything, really. Anything at all. That's absolutely incredible. It's one of Hurley's inventions. It took him a whole year. He said it was to help him with his investigations.
Wait, are you the inventor, or are you both inventors? Also, I'm just realizing her gear, and the goggles Herlock had, do they have flowers on them because her name is Iris, like the flower? See, like, sort of, maybe not perfectly flowery, but kind of there.
Well, actually, he hasn't used it for anything yet.
Figures.
Oh,
why not?
Apparently, on the evening he finally completed it, it suddenly occurred to him. I don't actually have anything I need to analyze. Oh dear. How about you, Runo? Do you have anything you'd like to analyze?
My case. The only thing that springs to mind is this machine itself.
Wait, there were 3 sides to this room, weren't there?
do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. Lingering beside the fire and watching the flames flicker and dance in the grate. It's so relaxing. Excuse me. We can't relax. Not when there are so many interesting things on the mantelpiece. Oh, it's just as it was described in the stories. It is? Yes, exactly. Inside that Persian slipper, for example. Oh, it's Persian for... Oh god, I thought it was like the elf shoes. God. Oh, my chocolates for 11, sis. Chocolates for 11 o'clock? I think. And transfixed by that large jackknife. It's my shopping list for the market. But why do you have it stuck to the wall via knife? Also, aren't you like, you're a 5-year-old. Can you really reach that high? Oh, it's not quite how I remembered it being described in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. Where's Sato-san? She looks crushed. A mystery shoe. Oh, shoe. Curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men. Where are the men? Bust of Napoleon. I see a map, an hourglass. Is the dancing men in the book? What an entrancing collection. I almost said entrancing. This is the first time in my life I've seen such a lonely old shoe displayed as an ornament. Oh, those are all mementos that Hurley has collected from his past cases. Really? Even the bust? Yes, that's right. When the mood takes him, he likes to throw it on the floor. And how the hell does he put it back together? Poor defenseless emperor. Mr. Sholmes destroys it. Yes, and then he bought... How much money does this guy have? Make it sounds like he has the temperament of an insane sculptor. How entrancingly bohemian of him. I don't see how entrancing that is. It looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. Seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock. Is there a body in there? Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. How did you come to that conclusion? Ooh, that chest. Contains some of my most valuable things. Like a dead body. And that smile tells me you're not going to give us any clue about what they are. Okay. Oh, this must be her side of the room. Ah, that's my blackboard where I note down ideas. Ooh, interesting. Let's see. Black Peter? What does that mean? Don't you want to hear what Iris has to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I'll come back to that blackboard later. It better not be something racist considering how this game has been. That's a charming little white shelf. And full of charming little bottles, too. Oh yes, but don't touch any of those. They're poison! Oh, and they might explode. Explode? Are they exotic chemicals? Do they use them for exciting experiments? Yes, indeed. And as Hurley always says, chemistry is an explosive science. Kaboom. Sorry. I agree. A single discovery can trigger an explosion of innovation all around the world. Or perhaps he just meant it literally. Either way, mental note, don't touch any bottle that belongs to Iris. What a beautiful English tea set. It's so neatly arranged. It's a favorite pastime of mine, a cup of herbal tea in the afternoon. Also, I'm just realizing her hair, like, especially the little bow and the ringlets that end in little hearts. How much time does she spend on her hair? Like, either I imagine she sleeps with the hair like this as well, because I imagine waking up every morning to do it like this would take a lifetime. Tea made of herbs?
That's right. I grow all sorts of herbs in the garden, so I can experiment with different blends. One moment, don't go away. I'll brew a pot of that special blend I came up with earlier.
She looks delighted. I only hope it's safe to drink. From her? Probably not. What on earth is that big black lump over there? Looks like a typewriter, but a very fancy kind of typewriter.
Ah, that fascinating thing is called a typewriter. It's a machine that allows you to write on paper without needing a pen. And wizardly thinking, too.
Ooh, that sounds like it could be very useful for someone like me with terrible handwriting. Oh, Ryunosuke, you would love computers. I guess that's everything here. Wait, what? I already looked at that. Okay, that is done. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey. I don't know if I can do lolly girl anymore. Lolly voice. Like lolly girl voice.
Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh no, not at all. I'm so sorry you couldn't have been more welcoming.
Though, at the time we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. 2 large guns anyway! What the Why does someone take the gun away from the 5-year-old? Like... I'm trying to think of...
Like this? Ah, thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Please don't shoot me!
Oh,
Maybe I can do toddler voice.
oh, Ginny? Yes, she's a professional pickpocket.
So we found out.
It was very naughty of her to pitch my invention like that.
Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption?
Exactly. So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions.
Please don't! This girl is dangerous. Like, seriously, I feel like the whole design, the aesthetic, I swear, it's like she was plucked out from a steampunk game and dropped in here.
Anyways, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician.
Your technician? Hurley?
Hurley, of course, silly. Hurley? Yes, Herlock Sholmes. We live here together.
I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter.
Daughter? Not like you.
What?
I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I?
Niece? Uncle? Grandchild? Actually, is Herlock in here?
Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive.
Oh my god, are they roommates? Part of me is like thinking of that meme, oh my god, they were roommates, but then sort of remembering, it's like, she's 10! Herlock, what is your deal? You're roommates?
I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10 at last this year.
Well, what of your mother and father?
I killed them for my experiments. Oh no, they're not around.
Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course, of course. Go ahead, Susie. I'm a very great fan of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and... Oh! You have a copy of Rand's magazine. Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on the ship. Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other... Wait. Okay, either Sherlock Holmes is the one doing all these wild adventures and she's like she's ghostwriting for him, or he's just or she's the actual genius and he's just like the mask in a way. My stories? That's right. Harley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I were the only one who ever heard them, don't you think? Goodness. Last night, he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. What kind of manuscript? So, you were the author? Yep. I'll let you in a little secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure The Speckled Band. The Speckled Band? That's very familiar. Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories, here and there. Enough to... What details are you changing? This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. That was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually. Yes. And of course, I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but... It's a story. Some poetic license is just justified to make it more thrilling, I think. Don't you? So, do you mean to say... Are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rand's magazine... all written by me? Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read... are written by a doctor of medicine. Dr. John H. Wilson, that's a pen name. Or alias. Susato-san's getting more and more worked up. Ah yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? I imagine she went with like a male pen name because it would be like, oh, who wants to read a story written by a lady? That's all true too. I am a doctor of medicine. What? At 10? First Francisca becoming a prosecutor at 18, now this. At 10 years old. Well, that's quite incredible. But... Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah yes. Well, thing is, I'm gender fluid. I did alter the setting slightly, for the stories to be more compelling. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow. I suppose it does, yes. Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world is just falling apart. About before. Yes? What's on your mind, Bruno? Do tell me. How did you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London? Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell me how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted. Although, there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Oh! Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular. I'm gonna shoot you in the face! Oh, shit. First of all, I already knew that you were a lawyer, Bruno.
After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the Defendant antechamber.
But you also said we only just arrived in London. How did you know that?
I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket.
What is this background? Oh,
So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country.
also how... Wait, either the passports are really small or that pocket is like hammer space.
And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs.
Oh! What, Susato, what's that in your hand? The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I?
Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today.
Oh! Oh, it's like one of those, like... I didn't know they did those, like, for prisons. I remember... I'm so used to those being used in, like, when I went to ye old Chuck E. Cheese, where before you go in, they stamp the back of your hand.
I use those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see? I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates.
Really?
So, that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded,
Who is dead, by the way!
the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you were wearing a particularly sad expression on your face. So I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case.
I see.
But how could you have known that trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case.
He didn't really solve it, he just got an innocent man behind bars. And obviously amused him, he told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. Japanese man? That must have been... Mr. Natsume.
Now, Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to.
Is she gonna shoot us?
You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow.
How can you see it? You're like tight. You're like 5 inches tall.
Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know.
He is silly and very destructive.
And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct?
They were spot on.
That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction.
You even managed to discern something of Mr. Shulm's delivery.
Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please!
Seriously, I think you make a much better detective than your roommate. I don't know, the whole roommates instead of like siblings or parent and child, it's like... It's a little weird. Also, rent, like roommates and rent being high. You're 10! What rent? What? Do children actually pay rent in this time? So yesterday Mr. Shulms apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying?
Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene.
Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems. Or unpopular, like with Gregson.
Apparently a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There
There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking stoop. Sorry, I saw the shifty look and I was thinking, wait a minute. A short, shifty-looking stooped man. Mr. Natsume beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all. I imagine witnesses, they had been watching from maybe like a second floor window. Because that's the only way I can imagine that Natsume didn't see anyone. Harley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. There was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, looking man shivering in fear. Mr. Shom's great deduction certainly hit the mark that time. Of course he did. He's a great detective. I'm guessing I would more likely say he's a fraud, because I feel like it's more Iris is doing. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Give us your shit! We needed to investigate the crime scene! Harley said that London is rife with crime. He's not wrong. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently. Oh dear, I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Oh, it's much like the Phoenix Wright era games. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Sorry, I was supposed to run off by the whole, tee-hee, emote. Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? He's dead! In that chest right there. As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well. Ah, well... I expect Harley is still investigating the scene. Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, Mr. Natsume? You got the last part right. Harley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the crime scene, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson while you were there? How did you know? Yes, we know Inspector Gregson. Ah, goody. In that case... Oh, it's pink. Give Gregsy this from me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know. What is this? Tell my friends everything or I'll shoot you with my grenade launcher! A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems. It reads, tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. Does it? Can I actually look at it? Victoria de Cratia? There's a 5-shilling piece, isn't it? I believe it's called a crown. Yes, and you can train a Scotland Yard detective to do whatever you want with just a single one. Iris must be the most powerful 10-year-old in the world. How much is 5 shillings, by the way? What's it really worth? Well, it's probably enough to buy all the chips the inspector could possibly eat in a whole month. That's greasy. I gotta admit, that's kind of a cute signature. Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to hear. I trust that won't be a problem. Iris' little handwriting is adorable, isn't it? Oh yeah, I forgot this was back when cursive was more popular. Tell the gentleman in black what he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. Yes, the handwriting might be adorable, but the message is ominous. There's no room for sentiment there. Is it code for tell the gentleman in black everything or I'll kill you? I'm sure it's simply the way you're interpreting it, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I do hope the inspector will tell us what we need to know when he reads it. You don't think it'll just make him munch piping hot chips until steam comes out of his ears, do you? Well, that wouldn't be an entirely terrible outcome. Now I'm kind of craving fish and chips. Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it? Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Good luck, then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea. So come back again soon. Well, we'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Also, Iris, why was your front door open? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime. So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard and all. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. Really? To be continued? Oh, wow.